April is very quickly moving into May, and that means we're moving from spring into summer and have a host of opportunity to make all kinds of wonderful, nutritious meals. Hi, Lori here, the May episode of my Cookbook Club, and I'm really excited to introduce this next cookbook to you because it's one that I've been cooking with quite a bit lately. This is a new author to me. I hadn't heard of this one before and happened to stumble upon a podcast in the last month or so here. And of course, when I find someone new and that I resonate with, I jump online, see if my local library has any of the cookbooks by her, so I can by her or him and test them out before I start investing in them. And luckily, several of her books were at the library, so I went and picked them up and started cooking with them, and I'm just having a blast. I think one of the things that I love to do with brand new cookbooks is, again, I pop it open and I start reading, and do I resonate with this person? I already knew somewhat that I did because, again, I had heard a lot of information on a podcast I had listened to. But again, the books, just even from my first 2 minutes thumbing through them just to take a look at things, really excited with me. I knew I had found a winner. I'll read you a quick paragraph here because I just fell in love with this. It says, "The reluctant parent to the vegan child." She's discussing who this book is for and why you should pick this book up. So again, this is right in the beginning. And she says, "The reluctant parent to the vegan child. Did your kid just sit you down and deliver the news? No more meat and dairy? Dad, oh, oy vey. What about Mama's lasagna or that French toast that took you 100 Sundays to perfect? Listen, it's going to be okay. Food is food. You aren't going to have to cook separate meals. You are going to have to start loving lentils and cooking them alongside your family. When I first went vegetarian as a teenager, my mom got me a bunch of cookbooks, and that's what really brought us together. I hope this can be that book for your family." And right there, I was wishing that, what are we at, like 27 years now, that I would have had a book exactly like this back then. I can't believe that. My daughter actually went vegetarian 27 years ago. Hard to believe. She was this innocent little 3-year-old who was in a Montessori, a little afternoon program. And I picked her up and she was so excited. She found a new friend, and that new friend happened to truly be vegan. Her family was vegan. Still, that was way off of my radar at that point. And when she came over to play, when we, did the child swap and play dates and things like that, if I would take them out to lunch, this little girl did happen to be vegetarian. She would, not eat meat was her deal. Her mom was definitely a vegan, taught me so much about this whole process. But, her daughter was a little more flexible, obviously, so they were 3 years old. But the thing that my daughter learned at 3 years old was, her friend. Why was her friend, or what was it? What did vegetarian mean? What were these words? And so, just getting it through to her, a vegetarian is someone who doesn't eat meat. And she was never really big on meat anyway, so that really resonated with her. And she's like, "I'm vegetarian too." And so I was, okay, you're vegetarian. And I actually made her, vegetarian chicken and turkey and things like that. We didn't eat red meat at that point, but it was, I honored that. And even though I kind of pushed, because I thought it would be a phase, I just figured, she would do it for a little bit and then kind of push things aside. But it was not a phase. This was something that kept up month after month. Long after she remained friends with this little girl for quite a few years. But she, as she grew and brought in new friends into her group and everything, she maintained that vegetarian thought process until she was probably 6 or 7, when I finally totally agreed with her. I was done fighting with her. I understood that she wanted to be a vegetarian, and so I moved forward with her at that point. And when I did that, again, I went looking for cookbooks. And way back then, again, we're looking at 25 years ago, there wasn't a lot of opportunity. I remember, in fact, I still have this cookbook that I grabbed, and it was so complicated. Every meal would take a couple hours, and I didn't understand all the ingredients. And it was just a mind-boggling book to me. And so, that was, I still have it for that very reason, just as that reminder of being the very first cookbook that I jumped into vegetarian cooking with. But as things progressed, as I started learning more and everything, and I definitely have noticed that cookbooks have gone into the education phase. Such a different time now, whether you're vegetarian, vegan, if you consider yourself plant-based like I do. But this book is a really good starting point. Again, this is one that I wish I would have found all those years ago. This lovely book is called I Can Cook Vegan, and absolutely love it. This is definitely one that I will be investing in and putting on my cookbook shelf. When I flip through things, I instantly start looking for, what's a good recipe for me instantly to try. How about beer braised tofu tacos with spinach? Oh my gosh, they look so wonderful. I literally opened to this page and was sold on the book itself. And then I went through there. I've tried several, some of her salad. Last night we had a broccoli goddess bowl. Love goddess bowls, Buddha bowls. Just think they're fabulous. And the thing when you get into this, again, she calls for rice. I added farro. You can start making your own adjustments to it based on what you have in the pantry, what your tastes are, what your preferences are. But she's got some great flavor conversations. Again, the beer braised tofu tacos. Oh, that just sounds heavenly, doesn't it? And that's the thing that I love about this is when you go searching through books like this, you should be able to start instantly resonating with certain recipes and say, yeah, that sounds good. And I think one of the things that impresses me so much about cookbooks today, and when you really find a good cookbook author that you resonate with, is it's not about replacing your old food. It's not about, oh, I always ate, chicken tacos or whatever your favorite thing is. And you're looking for a replacement for it. When you really dive into this and this becomes a part of your heart and soul, like it is me, you learn to look through cookbooks with a new set of eyes. And again, I'm looking through this book for flavors, for combinations of different ingredients. Again, beer braised tofu. I mean, that's just absolutely exciting. And if you're new to tofu, again, you're kind of tofu. Give it a try. The minute you marinate it, oh my gosh, marinated, and it doesn't take long to marinate. It's not like you have to set it aside for 24 hours by any means. Just adding the right amount of sauce and having different things in place really can do wonders for just for the flavors of everything. And that's where you really start falling in love with food itself, with plant-based, or in this case, vegan. In a lot of cases, I have people say, what's the difference between all these? Vegetarian, again, offers or has some dairy products, eggs. They're going into the cheeses. They do a variety of animal products, just not meat itself. Vegan tends to be a little more anti-animal use for everything. I've met a lot of vegans who won't use leather in their shoes and their belts and their cars, no leather seats, no leather couches, things like that. For me, plant-based kind of toes the line and plays a little bit more with the health of food. I do consider myself vegan. I don't use any products, animal products whatsoever in my kitchen. I do have leather seats and stuff like that. So for me, it's like, well, why would I want to replace it at this point? I have everything in place. I have cars. I have my couches, things like that. So in some cases, I do have animal products in my house. In a lot of cases, again, it's been that I've had them for maybe a number of years. I am conscious about it. I definitely pay attention to how certain products are made, where it comes from. But that is not always my primary concern. My primary concern is looking at the ingredient list. I want to know that what I'm eating is healthy for my body, for my family, for the people that come and share a meal with me. That is very important to me. So I toe the line. Again, I use different words for different reasons. Vegan is very important because I know they understand flavors from a vegan standpoint, and I know they're not going to be, throwing in eggs or cheese or, some different things like that. So when I see a book like this, I Can Cook Vegan, I can Anybody can cook vegan when you have a wonderful, wonderful book like this. This is definitely something that I think you're going to enjoy, no matter what level you're at. Again, I've been on this vegan trail now for over a decade, and this is something that I love her recipes, and that is going to make a stupendous addition to my cookbook shelf. Really looking forward to cooking with this the month of May, and from this point forward. So if you haven't tried or are looking for a brand new cookbook, I would highly recommend I Can Cook Vegan. It's such a fun cookbook that I'm having a blast with, and I think you will too. See you next month.